Today we're making chocolate wonder cake. Now I know most of the time I eat really healthy food, mostly raw food, but chocolate wonder cake is one of my weaknesses. I got this recipe from a roommate in college, and after she gave it to us, all the roommates, we made chocolate wonder cake pretty often. It was so easy to make and it never failed. You know, one time I heard Rachael Ray say on her TV show that when she was a child, the first thing she tried to bake was a cake and it didn't work. And I felt so bad for her. Cakes are hard. Most cake recipes take the finesse of an adult, really. And I've had cakes fall in other recipes. And it's really sad. I wish I could have known that Rachel when she was a child. I would have said, hey, what if we make cupcakes or cookies instead of a cake? But anyway, chocolate wonder cake, so easy. I'm going to make it in a square pan today, and I'll tell you the amount of the ingredients. If you want to make it in a larger 9 by 13 pan, just double the ingredients. And it looks like I've had this pan since college. You don't have to grease it, you don't have to flour it, so the pan is ready to go. So what we're starting with today is I'm going to use a very large bowl, so use the largest bowl that you can find. You don't have to use the mixer. I brought it over here just because most of the time I do use the mixer, but you can just mix it up with a spoon. It's very easy. So here's what we're going to put in the bowl. I have 1½ cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, and I measured everything out to make it easy, but then I have to remember what I have in order to tell you. I have 1/4 cup of cocoa. Now this is dry cocoa for those of you who don't bake a whole lot. I'm using Ghirardelli. Hershey's is fine. Just make sure it's unsweetened cocoa, not sweetened like for hot chocolate. Unsweetened. Then the other dry ingredients are 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And it's not baking powder, baking soda, which looks like this. And you can mix it up with a spoon first if you want, just to get those dry ingredients mixed together. So you see I'm just getting it all mixed together. Alright, now for the wet ingredients. I'm going to have some butter. Now I always melt the butter first. And this, for a square pan, you want about 5 tablespoons of butter, maybe a little more. Technically, it should be 5 1/3 tablespoons, but you know, who's counting? Now, when you melt it, if you're going to melt it in the microwave, you have to be very careful. I usually melt butter in this kind of goofy container. I put it in the microwave, I put a paper towel on top of it, just so it doesn't spatter, but you have to watch it because if you put it in there for too long or too high of a temperature, it will bubble over, and that's not what you want. So I've got my butter, and I'm going to put another light on. It just got dark in here as the sun just went down. And 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And then the one really strange ingredient is 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. Now that might seem like a bizarre kind of thing to put in a cake, but it works. And if you're wondering what else you can do with vinegar because you're a college student and it's not something you buy, you can use vinegar to clean things actually. It works really well. Then the last thing you're going to put in is 1 cup of cold water. Just get it from the tap. And then mix it up real well. Another reason to have a big bowl is so that the flour doesn't come out. Now you notice I didn't add any eggs. That's the other wonder piece about this cake, is that it has plenty of leavening agents to make the cake rise. Stirring works. I didn't have to use the beaters or the stand mixer. All right. And we're ready to put it into the pan. And as I said, you don't have to grease the pan, yay. I like to use some kind of a spatula to get all of the batter out of the pan. And then I have one more ingredient that's also a fun surprise. And that is chocolate chips. And we're just going to sprinkle the chocolate chips on top randomly. And I don't know how many I have in here, maybe 1/3 of a cup or 1/2 of a cup. If you just keep a bag of chocolate chips in your refrigerator for when you want to make chocolate chip cookies and you just got them in there, you can just open up the bag and use as many as you want. So I'm still sprinkling. I literally did not measure how much before I put the chips in this bowl. I just took a guess. And I'm sprinkling and I'm sprinkling. Alright. So it looks like this. I don't know if you can see that, kind of, sort of. I don't want to tip it too far. Now the other thing about this cake batter is that if you taste the cake batter out of the bowl, like if you're the kind of person who likes to lick the bowl and lick the spoon, it's not a sweet batter. It's just kind of plain and cocoa tasting. So don't let that fool you. So I'm going to bake this at 350 degrees for 40 minutes and then we'll see how it comes out. Let me go over those ingredients again. So it's 1½ cups of flour, 1 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of cocoa, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Mix up those dry ingredients. Then put in, it's 1/3 of a cup of melted butter. So 5 tablespoons or a little tiny bit more. You can use either unsalted butter or salted butter, doesn't matter. And 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 cup of cold water. Mix it all up, put it in a plain pan, square or 9x9 pan. This will work in a round pan too. And then sprinkle some chocolate chips on top. Alright, the chocolate wonder cake has been in the oven for 40 minutes. It's out. Now we have to test it to make sure it's done. And I just use plain toothpicks. This is the old-fashioned way. The thing is, because there are chocolate chips in the cake, you don't want to make, well, you want to make sure you don't poke a chocolate chip, because then you're going to get chocolate on your toothpick and wonder, alright, is the cake done? The cake gets done in the center last, so you want to poke the toothpick close to the center. And if it comes out, oh look, I poked chocolate chip, how about that? If it comes out wet, like it's batter, then the cake isn't done and you need to continue baking for 5-minute increments. But if you put it in and it comes out clean with a moist crumb or two, that's okay. That means the cake is... I'm not going to frost this at all. It's such a moist cake, it's delicious. I'm just going to put a little powdered sugar on top. But I'm going to wait till later. I'm having this for company, so I'm going to put the powdered sugar on top either right before I serve it. If I was taking it to a party, I'd put the powdered sugar on right before I left the house. And what you do is you just take a tablespoon or 2 of powdered sugar. If you're a college kid and you don't have this, get some from a neighbor. You only need a tablespoon or 2. And you need one of these, a strainer. And you just shake the powdered sugar on top of the cake. Delicious. One time I served this cake when I was a senior in college. I made a 9x13. And toward the end of the party, I walked by where the desserts were, and one of the guys was standing at the cake pan, which was now empty because everybody ate, well, it was gone. He was taking the spatula and scraping the bottom of the pan and then wiping off the little bits of moist cake from the spatula and eating it. He wanted to give every last morsel. It's a delicious cake. It's easy. Chocolate wonder cake.